Okay, right. Looks like it's live. Hi, everybody. It is, what is it, Thursday, 9 p.m. here in the UK, 4 p.m. for those of you on the East Coast. And as you go across, 3, 2, and gosh, it's only 1 p.m. in California. Lucky you, the sun is still shining. Whatever time of day or evening it is, thank you very much for coming on tonight. I haven't advertised this heavily. I've really just, I put it in my, on my Facebook page, I put it in my private MLSP Facebook group, and the majority of you are, from right now, as looking at you, the majority of you are actually from that group, so it's great to see you. Anyone who I don't know, thank you for coming on as well. Hi Cynthia, I see you've just jumped on. Hi Belinda, hi Jim. I know that there are some others coming on as well, and there's a couple of unfamiliar faces in there too, who I presume have found me on my Facebook page or perhaps somewhere else, I don't know. But anyway, it's great to see you all, and I think other people will be jumping on as we proceed through. So tonight, I wanted to share with you some really exciting strategies that I have been using recently. You know, I came online, what was it, nearly 2 years ago now, and it's been like an evolution for me. I started off with video marketing, and I still, to this day, love videos. I don't any longer create videos and upload them and do all the SEO and everything like that to get them to rank in the search engines. That's not to say that it's bad. It's not to say I won't go back to doing it. But right now, that is not my focus. I'm much more focused on social media. So I learned how to create my Facebook fan page. I've learned, it looks like Belinda might have just been kicked off. I hope she can get back on again. I won't interrupt, I'll keep going. Oh, hi again, Belinda. It looks like you got kicked off. If anyone does get kicked off, webinars on air can do that to you. It's quite irritating. Apparently it's Google. It's not webinars on air, it's Google. You just need to refresh the page or log in again on your link, and you should be good. You should be good to get back in. Okay. Anyway, so then I learned some paid marketing strategies on Facebook. I've learned PPV, and I've learned to do, recently, I've been doing much more in the line of free marketing strategies. And some of these are just so simple. They're so easy to do, and yet not only do they generate leads for you, you're actually meeting these people. So it's people that already are beginning to know, like, and trust you before you've even started to sort of share anything with them or market anything to them or with them or anything of that nature. That makes it just so powerful. It's a bit, in that regard, it's a bit like video marketing, because with videos, you know, somebody sees a video, they kind of feel like they get to know you a little bit. But when you're chatting to people online, they kind of feel like they've met you, especially if you do it right. And that's what I'm going to teach you tonight. I'm going to teach you, where to find people. I'm going to teach you what to say to people, how to talk to people. And I don't mean going out on the street and talking to people. I mean a brief chat on Facebook, and it really doesn't take long. This strategy is really fast, it's really simple, and it really works. So let's take a few steps back. For those of you who might not have been online marketing for very long, the majority of you are probably in some form of network marketing program, some form of network marketing company, working your own network marketing business, or you might be an affiliate marketer. or you might be somewhere sort of in between the two. There are some companies that are kind of somewhere in between the two. And at the end of the day, what you want to do once you get online is you want to build an audience. So you want to build a targeted audience. Those are people who are the kind of people who are likely to want to join your business or want to buy your products. And you might even have more than one, but they're probably related in some way. So the kind of people you are aiming to get into your audience are the kind of people who are likely to be interested in the kinds of things that you are marketing. Now, that's not to say that they will immediately be interested in joining you in your business, because they might not. But if you let go of that and you don't worry so much about that, and instead you see the big picture, and you remember that it is kind of a little bit of a numbers game, but doing it like this with targeted people, it's not so much of a numbers game. In fact, it really cuts those numbers down. Because instead of marketing just to everybody, instead of going into a shopping mall and talking to everybody and anybody, and you don't know whether they have any interest in what you're talking about, you're targeting people. They are becoming part of your audience. And once you have what's called captured a lead, they are part of your sort of captive audience, and you can then email them. You can basically correspond, mass communicate with them. So it might be through email, it might be through social media. However you choose to market your business, you're then going to be communicating with those people, and you're going to be providing value to those people so that they want to stay with you, they want to stay as part of your audience. And every now and again, you're going to be making offers to those people. Okay, so that is what it's all about. And all it means to capture a lead, all it means is that somebody out there, and it's a person, has given you their contact information. So most people, when they get online, what they think that they have to do is they have to create capture pages, and then they have to drive traffic to those, all the jargon's coming out now. They have to drive traffic to those capture pages in order for people to enter their name and email address, because that's what a capture page is, a place where you enter your name and email address. You've probably been through one yourself. So drive traffic to the capture page, get people to enter the name and email address, and then they become a lead. And yes, that is a way to generate leads. I do that myself. You can do that through a whole variety of strategies. I've just mentioned a few. There's video marketing, there's SEO of all forms, so getting things to rank in the search engines. There's paid marketing. You can do it on social media through paid marketing. But you don't have to get somebody to go through a capture page to capture their contact information. So you don't have to get somebody to go through a capture page for them to become your lead. And that is what I want you to grasp tonight. That is what I want you to go away with at the end of this webinar. Not only the fact that you can generate a lead, you can get somebody into your audience without the use of a capture page, but I'm going to show you and talk to you about how you can do it in some easy ways that you can do it. So before we go any further, I'm going to turn on the chat. I want to make sure everybody can hear me. It's a bit late for me to do that. I usually have done that way before now. There we go. I want to make sure everybody can see me, everybody can hear me. And I do have some notes, but I'm going to talk to you for a little bit longer. Just bear with me. First, I want to kind of paint the picture first. If you have questions, post them in the chat, or I will turn on the Q&A as well. Post them in there. Okay, I don't mind if you post them throughout the sort of training, because when you think of questions, I don't mind if you post them. I might not get to them till the end, but that's fine, because if you whenever you think of them, you might want to post them. If you have any issues like with the audio or something, if it goes off, please put that in as well, because I'm here on my own. It's not like when I'm doing an MLSP webinar, when there's always somebody in the background wherever they live, the MLSP people. Behind the scenes, there's nobody, so I won't be able to tell, so please let me know. Okay, so for those of you who don't know what a capture page is, I'm just going to very quickly show you a capture page. Let me see if I share my screen. I'll show you one. There's a few places I can show you, but I'm going to show you this one. I'm sorry, just bear with me just for a second. My internet's decided to be slow on me, of course. Right, I'm back. Hello. Just want to very quickly show you an example. Here we go. I realise, don't worry, I realise you can't see it. Ah, silly thing. Maybe I won't be showing you a capture page. Okay. Hang on, where am I? Okay. Just very quickly show you this then. Share my screen. Right. And here is a capture page. Now this is one, actually, this isn't a very good one to show you, because this one doesn't say where to enter your name and email address. But so a capture page can have a video on it, it often does, and it has some kind of something to offer people for free. And usually it has a place for name and email address as well. Let me come off screen share. Okay, so all a capture pages is a place where people can, in exchange for some kind of valuable information or valuable content, can enter their name and email address to get that valuable information. I say valuable information that they're going to want to learn about, information they're going to want to know about. And at the beginning, that is almost certainly for you going to be third party. I might struggle tonight because I've had a nasty cold and a cough. So you have to bear with me. Here we go. It'll be better by the time we do the live work session, don't worry, which will be next week. So the idea is that you put out there on the internet through with a capture page attached to it, you put out there something that people in your target audience are going to want. So it might be something as straightforward and simple as someone else's YouTube video. You've gone onto YouTube, you found something on there that is definitely going to be useful to, you'd think it was useful for you, for your business. So other people are probably going to think it's useful for them, for their business. It might be a 4 or 5 minute training video. It might be an hour long. Doesn't matter. It's something that people in your target audience are going to find useful. And then if you throw a capture page in front of it, that becomes an offer. That is a free offer, because all they need to do is put their name and email address in, and they go straight to that YouTube video. It's free for you to do, it's free for them. There are various places where it's really, really easy to create a capture page. I use Lead Pages. And of course, if you're in My Lead System Pro, there's lots of free offers on there for you. So they're done for you. The capture pages are done for you too. But if you're not in My Lead System Pro, I recommend Lead Pages. I'm not an affiliate for them, but I recommend them. They're really user-friendly. It's really easy to create a capture page, which is just one of those pages I just showed you, with or without the video, Without a video, it would just have a headline, and it would have a place for your name, a place for an email address, and you throw that up in front of the video, the ebook, whatever it is, to give away to people for free. They put in their name and email address, they're your lead. Now, I just wanted to go through that very quickly for those people who don't understand the sort of traditional way to get a lead. Now, tonight we're talking about getting all around all of that. So we're getting rid of all that. We're not even using a capture page tonight. All we're doing is getting people's email address. So we're getting people's contact information, which I recommend is their email address. Now, you know, you might be somebody who all you want to do is build up your Facebook page, in which case you're going to go out there, you're trying to get Facebook page likes, okay? You can sort of offer to exchange them with people. You can let people know what your page is about and ask them if they'd like to have a look at it and offer to look at theirs, that kind of thing, okay? So if you're doing it on Facebook and you don't want to exchange email address, you don't want to get email addresses, which is what I recommend you do, then that is another thing that you can do, because you have an audience on Facebook. Now, one of the reasons that I recommend you get email addresses is because, and we're doing this on Facebook, people are going to look at your Facebook page anyway, if you have one. So in order to use this strategy, in order to do this strategy, you'll be using your Facebook profile. You do not have to have a Facebook fan page. However, I think it looks more professional if you do. And if you have a Facebook fan page, I then think it looks more professional if you are posting regularly to that fan page. I post to my fan page 3 or 4 times a day. How often you do it is up to you, but that is the recommended number of times per day. It takes me a minute to post to my fan page, unless I'm posting a video, in which case, you know, it might take a bit longer, or if I'm posting a blog post, it might take a bit longer. Other than that, it literally takes me a minute, because I often post things like, just turning my phone off, I often post things like motivational image quotes. If whatever you're posting, make sure you quantify it, make sure you explain why you're posting it, don't just slap things up there. Say what it means to you, okay? So this strategy will be through your profile page, but I do recommend that that is still going on in the background on your fan page. Now, for those of you who are thinking, well, my profile page hasn't got anything to do with business on it, that's okay. That's okay. Another thing that I've learned to do recently is to put all of my business friends in a group, because you can group people on your profile. And then whenever I'm posting anything on my fan page, I now, not every time, but quite often, I'll post it on my profile page only to those business people. So my friends and family are not swamped by my business stuff. They don't even see it. But my business people on my profile page do see those things. Okay, so that's my recommendation. So what you're going to be doing is you're going to be going out using Facebook, using your profile. You're going to be finding people who are in your niche. And I think for most of us here, it's the network marketing niche. So you'll be finding other network marketers. You'll be striking up a conversation with them. And I'm going to talk you through the process. You're going to be ending up, hopefully, with their email address. Then you whiz over to Aweber, and for this, I recommend that you have Aweber or another email marketing platform. It's really inexpensive, doesn't cost much at all. I think it's $1 for the first month, and then it's $9 after that per month, something like that. It's not expensive at all. I recommend you get Aweber, just because that's what I use, and so I'm familiar with it and I can help you use it. But there are others as well. You can do this using My Lead System Pro. I think you can manually add email addresses. I've never done it, but I think that you can. So if you want to do that and you're in MLSP and you really don't want to get Aweber yet, then we can probably find out. Aweber is better at this stage once you're doing this, because you will be generating leads, because then you have more, well, you have control over what you send to those people. So you'll be going out, you'll be striking up natural conversations with people. I'll talk you through the process in a second. You'll be getting their email addresses. You'll be manually adding them in Aweber, so they are leads. Then you will continue to provide those people with value. And if you're new, don't panic. At the beginning, that can be completely and utterly third party. People will thank you for it. You'll be sending them to, if you're an MLSP, you'll be sending them to the training webinars that happen pretty much every day. If you want to, or it might just be once a week. If you're not an MLSP, that's okay. You can find plenty of blog posts that are valuable enough to share with people, videos on YouTube that are valuable enough to share with people. And then as time goes on, and I suggest you do this sooner rather than later, you start creating your own content. Because every time you learn something, and if you're doing this, you'll be learning. Every time you learn something, you want to be sharing it. So maybe you'll aim at once a week at the beginning. You create something that is yours. It might be just a video. If you have a blog, and you certainly don't need one if you're a beginner, but if you have one, it might be a blog post. It might be a blog post with a video. You can share the same content across lots of different platforms. So you could put the video on the blog post, you could put the video in YouTube, you could put the video on Facebook, you can put the video in your blog and put them both on Facebook, and that can actually be 2 separate posts. Okay, so you don't need to be recreating everything for all the different things. You could then just have the audio part of the video and put it on SoundCloud if you have a SoundCloud account, for example. Oh, there's just hundreds of different ways. Okay, but I want you to be really, really trying to be creating your own content so that you can share it with these people, because you will be getting leads, you will be building up an audience. They will only continue to open your emails if you continue to share things with them that are valuable to them. Otherwise, why would they bother opening your emails? Okay, and then on every single email you write, you're going to be either sending them to something. Could be if you're just starting off with creating videos, it might be your YouTube channel. So you'll be sending them to your YouTube channel to watch the video. You might be sending them to your blog. And as often as you can, somewhere in that email, you want something that has the potential to make you some money. So if you're an MLSP and you're sending them to one of the live webinars, that's all you need to do, because that has the potential to make you some money. If you're sending them a system campaign, which is a webinar which you can send them, again, that has the potential to make you money. If you're sending them to your blog, make sure at the bottom of your blog somewhere you have, it could be a PS, it could be just something at the bottom, a footnote, it could be in bold somewhere, it could be, depending on what the blog post is about, it could be in the middle of the blog post. There could be a link about your MLM business. You could be writing a blog post in review of one of the products in your MLM business. And somewhere in that blog post, you'll have somewhere that could potentially make you some money. You don't have to spam your links everywhere to make money. That won't make you money. You need to be much more subtle about it. I love the way Diane Hockman puts it. You need to murmur things. So, for example, if one day you're talking about a blog post in your email, and I'm sorry I'm going off on a tangent here, but this is the important stuff. If one day you're talking about a blog post in your email, but you've got a training going on tomorrow, it might not be yours, it might be someone else's, just murmur it at the bottom. Just murmur about it. Oh, and tomorrow I'll be having fun. joining so-and-so on their webinar. Okay, and people's ears will prick up. And then tomorrow in the email, you can write about it. Anyway, onto the strategy. What I'm going to do is I've got some notes. Happy to send you these slides so that you don't have to be scribbling away. I'm going to share my screen. So I'm going to run through the strategy on Facebook, and I've got a brief bit on Instagram as well, because all of these things work on Instagram as well. And then next week, we'll do a live work session where I'd like you to actually be doing it with me. I'd quite like it to be like a hangout situation where some of you are actually, we can see on your pictures at the bottom and we can talk to each other. That would be perfect. If you don't want to do that, that's okay. But I'd like it to be a live work session where I actually work with you and you are doing this. Okay, so I'm going to share my screen. It's a little, it's just a really short PowerPoint presentation. It's just so that I can talk it through while I'm explaining how to do it. So let me open that up, share my screen again, and off we go. Right, let me just make sure before I... the screen seems to have stopped showing. I'm presuming that everybody can hear me and see me, and everything is working okay, because there's nothing in the chat at all. So let me try that again. I won't press that button again this time. Right. So these are simple, low-tech lead generation strategies, and I'll put they're so simple everyone can get leads within minutes of this training webinar. You really can, okay? Getting leads on Facebook the easy way. You do not need to do paid advertising. You can. I'm not saying it's bad. I do it, but you don't need to. You can do this with or without a Facebook fan page. However, I do, like I said, think it looks more professional if you have one. You do need to be posting valuable and relevant content to either your profile or your page for this to really work, because people will look. They'll look over your page. They'll look to see if you're someone who's worth talking to. They'll look over your profile. And if they don't look during the conversation, they're certainly going to look afterwards. And it's very, very easy in this industry to stand out from the rest. If you just go and look at most people's profiles, most people's pages, they just put about their business opportunity every single post. It's not easy to stand out. Just don't do that. Just put value on there. And it doesn't mean that you can't post about your MLM. It doesn't mean you can't post about your products. Of course you can. But do it maybe 10 or 20% of the time. And do it in a way that is still valuable to people. Right, this is the process. Very simplified. So what you're going to do is you're going to find active, non-spammy groups or pages that are relevant to your niche. For example, someone like Ray Higdon, Eric Worre, Jordan Adler. Okay, there are plenty more. Go online, type in MLM leaders, find the MLM leaders, find their Facebook fan pages, see if they are active. Okay, you can search for groups. Facebook is very kind. Facebook will tell you which groups are similar to the groups that you're looking at. So you can search for groups. Avoid the groups which are just, this is what I mean by spammy groups. Groups which are just plaster your link here, copy paste, because it just won't work on that kind of page. Oh, sorry, in that kind of group. Then what you're going to do is you're going to find an active thread in that group and you're going to interact in it. This doesn't take long, by the way. It might sound like it takes a long time. It doesn't, and you get better at it. I'm getting faster. Like and comment in that active thread. People will notice you, they'll see your name. Then you can friend request people, especially people who also interact within that thread. And when you friend request them, and don't friend request too many at a time, or you'll get in trouble with Facebook. But you might want to friend request just 2 or 3 at the beginning, just to practice this out, really. Send them a little message at the same time explaining why you'd like to connect. That might go to their other folder. You'll get a little message up saying that's going to go to their other folder. Don't worry about it. I find that people often see it anyway, because they'll probably recognize your name if you've been liking and commenting, especially if you then go over to their page or their profile and you like and comment on a couple of things, they'll probably recognize you. So then you friend request them, and then once people accept your friend request, so you could do several, send several friend requests at a time of the day when people are likely to be on Facebook, and you'll find that some people accept straight away, especially in this industry. People are pretty desperate to talk to people online. So as soon as somebody accepts your friend request, you can start talking to them. And another way that you can do this is actually to go through and do that, and then maybe a few hours later go back and start talking to the people who have accepted your friend requests. Okay, before you talk to anybody, before you start a conversation with anybody, glance at their profile. Find out a few things about them. None of this takes long. It might sound like a long process. This doesn't take very long, okay? Literally just find out just a couple of things about them so that you've got something to talk to them about. And then start a conversation. And what you're going to want to think about is, what would you say to those people if you were meeting them on the street? Act as if they are standing there in front of you and you are meeting them on the street. Use commonalities, be friendly, be complimentary, and do not pitch them anything. Approach them with confidence. You need to think to yourself, have in your mind, I am the more knowledgeable one, because you probably are. Now, one thing I recommend at the beginning, if you are struggling with your confidence and you're worried that they are going to somehow or other see through you and see that you are a beginner, which I can assure you they won't, but if you're worried about that, then make sure you just pick people who are really quite obviously not as knowledgeable as you. Somebody who is posting 15 million things on their profile about their business, for example. Okay? Right, then you're going to keep asking them questions. So the process goes like this. You talk to them as if you just met them. Natural. Hi, how are you doing? I saw you on Eric Warren's page, loved what you were saying, wanted to connect. How are you? Okay? See how I ended there with a question. They'll then get back to you. Then you will make some kind of comment back and end it with a question. I often ask questions about something on their profile or something on their page, because then they realize that you are actually interested in them, because you have actually looked at what they're about. So you are actually genuinely interested in them as a person. I'll ask them questions like that. Then when the time comes, and it might just be 2 questions in, it might be 4 or 5 questions in, and these conversations usually go pretty quickly, you can ask them something which is kind of lead into kind of more business talk. So how long have you been with so-and-so? Are you enjoying it? How's it going? How are you currently marketing it? Everybody will tell you that it's going fabulously. No matter how it's going, everybody says that. It's quite funny. So don't worry about that. Don't let that put you off. Everybody says that. Most people will at some point try and sell you their stuff. They will pitch you. Don't worry, you can turn that around as well. So answer their questions, let the conversation flow in a natural way. And if you feel cornered, if you feel uncomfortable, just have the phone ring. The phone's ringing, I've got to go. Okay? You're on Facebook. You don't have to talk to people. You don't have to talk to them right now. You're not actually meeting them. What I'm saying is, don't worry about it. If they ask a question you can't answer, then don't worry. Your child is crying in the background, you have to go. Okay? Or be really honest and say you don't know the answer to it. Right, some likely scenarios that are going to happen. Like I said, they're going to pitch you. They're going to tell you everything's going fabulously. Use a pitch as an opportunity. Thank them, but say that you're already happy in your business. And explain that one thing you do is help others to market their business online. Even if you're a complete and utter beginner, that is one thing that you are doing. It's one thing that you're intending to do, you're learning to do, and it's one thing that you are doing. If it makes you feel uncomfortable, like I said, then only pick people who clearly know less than you. And 97% of people will know less than you, because you are in a webinar right now and most people are not. And do not go to them. Do not listen. Do not train. For example, people will who keep pitching their business all over their page or their profile. They might just leave. That's another scenario. That's fine. You know, it's Facebook. They might have something that they're busy doing. It's not. Don't take it personally. It's not. Might not be because they don't want to talk to you. It might just be that they have to get off and do something. It might be that their internet connection went off. Okay, they might get back to you. And at the end of the day, when you talk to them about them sending you their email address, which I'll explain how to do that in a minute, they might say, no, I've had people say they don't give out their email addresses to anybody. Again, it's not personal. It doesn't, you know, just don't worry about it. That's also fine. You still met them. Meeting these people is important. They will then notice you. They'll know you. They might go to your fan page and like it. They might then become part of your audience somehow, some other way. Doesn't have to be the email address. So in other words, learn to be okay with a no, because it doesn't matter. Great aim. Like I said, I believe the best thing to do, my advice, is to get people to onto your email list. So at the end of the day, you do want them to be part of your audience. I advise them to be part of your email list. For some, you might want them to go through a capture page. You might actually have one day something that you want to share with them that has a capture page in front of it. So you let the conversation flow, and it's something that they'll find valuable. So you ask them if you put it in such a way that that they see it as you giving them value. Or if the conversation is going in such a way that it will work and it won't sound strange, you can even get them to take a look at something. It could be even your MLM opportunity. I know a couple of people who use this strategy and they enroll people in their MLM opportunities. The way they do it is they practice and they get better at it. I don't do that. I just get them onto my email list. But you can use this strategy to sort of market something like MLSP or your MLM business opportunity. Now, one thing that I've learned recently, going through Diane's course, is that everybody, and you probably don't even realize this, but subconsciously, once you have either bought something or said yes to something in some way, or given somebody something. So once somebody has given you their email address, they will automatically want to give you something else. Once, and if you think about it, if you're in a shop, in a store, if you, no, this might not be a very good example. I don't know, she gave a few examples and it did make sense at the time. So it's just research has shown it's a well-known marketing sort of, I don't know, thing, I suppose, that once people buy something or they say yes to something, they want to buy something else. I guess it's to justify their first purchase. So you sign up for the gym. What do? You go out, you buy your new gym shoes and a new gym outfit, because you're kind of justifying the fact that you've paid for that gym membership. So once people give you their email address, they will be much more open to giving you something else, or to accepting something else, or to looking at something else. So at that point, I usually just leave it. But you might want to then go on and talk to them about MLSP. You might want to go on and talk to them about your MLM business. Much better to do that after you've got their email address, because then they've already given you something. And as soon as they give you that email address, they're a lead. And you can then, like I've talked to you about, you can then send them value. Right. I'm just trying to think about the best. There's two tangents two sort of paths I could take here. As this bit at the bottom here, continue to provide value to them, and I've talked you through that. Really offer third-party information, invite them to webinars, provide them with offers from time to time. So that's how to sort of keep them on your email list. But some of you are probably thinking right now, well, how do you ask someone for their email address? Right. Once you have signed up to, this is why I think it's best to be in some kind of email subscriber. I think it's best if you're in MLSP, or if you're not in MLSP. I think it's best to have be with some kind of email provider, because what you can say to people is that one of the things you enjoy doing is helping people to market their business online. Then the conversation will continue, and you can say to them, you can just throw it out there really. You can say to them, I send out an email newsletter with a free newsletter with training and tips. If you'd like to receive it, just let me know. Or if you'd like to receive it, just shoot me your email address. And the majority of people will give you their email address, because you're not pitching them anything. You're offering something of true value, and most people will then give you their email address. And then all you do, you go straight over to Aweber, you click on add subscribers, and you paste in their email address, and boom, there you go, you have a lead. My recommendations, I do personally recommend Aweber or a similar email tool to start to build the email list of your own. Now, if you are brand new and you're an MLSP, you don't need to have your own email autoresponder, because they do have them built in for you. But I recommend you get them pretty quickly. Then you have control of what goes out to your list. Get yourselves on the list of some of the leaders and look at the email layout and the copy. You don't copy and paste it, but you can use ideas from other people's emails. You can learn from them. You don't need fancy graphics on your emails. Some people use them. You don't need them. Look at Diane. She has nothing fancy anywhere, ever. And that's deliberate on her part, because she wants people to feel like they can duplicate her. And if you're in MLM, if you're in network marketing, you want people to feel like they can duplicate what you're doing. You want people to feel like they are going to be able to do what you are doing. Never overcomplicate things. Never make things look super duper duper fancy to show off to people, because you will actually be putting people off, because they won't feel like they can duplicate it. They won't feel like they can do the same. I have put my Aweber link there. You don't have to use it. It's just that if you're going to use Aweber, you might as well use somebody's link as somebody that you know. It's kind of my thought. So that is my Aweber link. It's angela1.aweber.com. And then try to email at least twice per week at the beginning. I recommend 4 times per week as an aim, or maybe even 5. Right, the same goes for Instagram. The theories are the same. You will still be corresponding with people and interacting with people. However, on Instagram, you'll be sending people to a link to a free training or other useful resource in your what's called your bio, your profile. I just use the MLSP system campaign called Insta Builder. So I post throughout the day, I then interact with the people who have commented on those posts. and send people to the link in my bio. That is a capture page. It leads to a free training, and those people then become my leads. So you can do this very easily on Instagram as well. If you don't have MLSP, like I said, grab a useful YouTube video, use lead pages, and there's a slot when you're creating the capture page, and it's really easy. When you're creating the capture page, there's a little box that you paste the link to the YouTube video. That's it. So you go on YouTube, you find a useful video, you go on lead pages, you create a capture page, which is just you type in your heading, you put this, it's there. It's really, really user friendly. And then there's a little box, you copy and paste the link to the actual YouTube video, and bam, you've done it. So you can have that on Instagram if you're not in MLSP. Okay, so I haven't actually shown you the process. I haven't demonstrated the process this week because I want to save that and do that next week. But I hope I've clearly described the process to you. You can probably go away and try it out now yourself. It is a bit of a trial and error thing. You'll get better at it with practice, but you'll find it doesn't take very long. Okay, and remember, the aim is that you are getting their email addresses. Say that you send out a newsletter, even if you've never sent one out in your life, because you are going to be sending out a newsletter. Oh, hi Karen. Yes, it is being recorded. Don't worry. It is being recorded with the coughs and everything. I'll send it out tomorrow, okay? Even if you don't send one out now, you're going to be. And remember, a newsletter doesn't need to be anything complicated. It's just maybe 2 emails a week at the beginning. And if you're in something like My Lead System Pro, you can be inviting them to the webinars which are actually happening. If you're not, you can find useful information, third party, from people on the internet everywhere. Go to Ray Higdon's blog. Go to, I don't know, any of the other leaders' blogs. Find a useful blog post and copy and paste, share that link in your email. That is then useful information to share with people. Someone's training on YouTube is useful information. Somebody in your niche, because you are targeting people in your niche, is going to want to see that, and they're going to thank you for sending it to them. And then, like I said at the beginning, I want you very, very soon to be actually creating your own content, and that doesn't need to be anything fancy. I'd rather it wasn't. Like I said, people want to feel like they can do it themselves. They want to feel comfortable with what you're doing. They want to feel like they can duplicate. So don't even try to make things fancy. Slap a video camera up and record yourself sharing something that you learned that day. It's as simple as that. Okay. I hope I've clarified this evening, how straightforward getting email addresses from people can be, how straightforward creating a newsletter can be. Oh, bye, Jim. Jim has to go. Yeah, I'll send out the recording, don't worry. None of this stuff needs to be complicated. People tend to overcomplicate everything, and it doesn't need to be, okay? And then while you're doing this, while you're learning how to do this process, and you could stick with this process and it can get you a long way, believe me, but while you're learning to do that, while you're doing this and you're getting those leads in on a regular basis, if you want to, you can be learning another strategy at the same time, because this strategy is so non-techy and so basic and easy. There's not really much to learn. It's just a question of practicing it. So at the same time, you can be learning something that maybe is a bit more technical, but it's something you're interested in. So you might be learning how to blog, for example. You might be learning how to do some SEO. You might be learning how to do some paid advertising if you want to. If that's the kind of thing that that you want to learn how to do. It's quite good to have a few other things that you can do sort of in your pocket to be able to share with people anyway. It's quite good to be able to teach other people how to do some things. So it's not a bad thing to learn how to do things. I continually invest in myself. I continually invest in my training. I'm always I'm always buying new training products. I've stopped myself. I told myself today, you're not buying any more training products, because it can become over the top. And if you're not careful, you can get stuck in that training gap. And I don't want any of you trapped. Sorry, I don't want any of you to get stuck in a training trap. I want you to be out there. I want you to be generating leads by doing this strategy and maybe learning one other strategy at the same time and then implementing it. Okay? Do not get stuck in a learning trap. I've seen too many people do that. They buy a course, they go through it, they learn it, they tell me, oh, I've learned so much stuff. They never actually do it. Don't do that. Make sure you're implementing. Now, are there any questions? I don't think there are. I've had people saying things to me, but I don't think there's any questions. No, the Q&A is on as well. Please post any questions you have in the chat. Next week we will meet up, we'll do the live work session, and you can actually, I will be doing it on screen, you'll be able to see me, and you can be doing it at the same time. I think that'll be really powerful. And what will be really good is if you've already had a go at it during the week as well. I think that would be really good. So you've got a bit of homework. I want you to get some kind of email autoresponder. Don't worry, they're really easy to use. They're not expensive. I recommend Aweber. Like I said, my link, if you want to use it, is angelahardy1.aweber.com, I believe it was. But you don't have to. But you know, that's beside the point. Cynthia has a question. When you say newsletter, that means some form of content. No, newsletter is a fancy word for emails, an email list. If you want to say an email list, that's fine. I just noticed some of the some other leaders call them newsletters when I first started doing this. So I started calling them newsletters, and I was kind of got stuck that I call them newsletters. But you don't have to. People at the end of the day tend to know that they are, you mean an email list anyway. Do you have any training on what to say to leads after you get their emails to get them to convert? Yes, plenty. What you want to do basically, Karen, is when you get their emails, is you want to keep them on your list and you want to keep them opening your emails. So before you even think about whatever it is you want to convert them into, you need to be thinking about providing them with valuable content. So you need to be thinking about, the recommendation is that you provide one piece of content. Sorry, you create one piece of content every day. Now at the beginning you won't be doing that, but you know, that's sort of an aim. And a piece of content can be just a 2-minute video. It doesn't have to be very much. It doesn't have to be complicated. Nothing has to be complicated. But so you want to be providing them with valuable content so that they keep opening up your emails and they keep they stay in your audience. They keep opening up your emails. They keep engaging with you. And then one thing I like to do, I was saying near to the beginning of the webinar, is to mumble things. The mumble can be very powerful. So you might provide them with some kind of value. It might be a blog post, and then at the bottom you can mumble about something that is going on tomorrow, and that thing tomorrow might be a sales webinar. Okay, you can mumble about it, which means that you kind of just mention it. You throw it in there at the bottom. Usually at the end of an email, I give them some reason to open up tomorrow's email as well. That's another sort of key strategy that you can use. So that then they open up tomorrow's email, and tomorrow's email might be more about the the webinar, and it could be a sales webinar. No, if you're talking about getting people to convert into your MLM business, what I recommend is you think of that as more of a long-term thing. So you can be continually kind of mentioning your MLM as you go along. I like to put it in my PS lines quite often. I like to have it as something that's underneath. It's kind of in my signature. People are nosy and they often take a look. So if you have in your signature, if you have like your phone number, you might have your Skype number, and then you put my MLM business and you put the link there, people will often take a look there, and you could have the presentation in there. So there's various ways of sort of getting people to convert, depending on what you mean by that, throughout the process. But you want to think of that as much more of a long-term process. What you mustn't do is make people feel like you're just continually pitching them things, because then they're just not going to open your emails. So if in your first email you're pitching them something, why should they open up the second email? Another thing I learned, and I've been learning a lot from Diane Hockman recently, because I'm doing her Guru Code. For those of you who know what the Guru Code is, one thing I learned is that if you do have an autoresponder and it is leading to something, your first email shouldn't have any pitching in it whatsoever, not even any links in it. Your first email should be telling people how wonderful the thing is that you're going to talk to them about tomorrow. So the first day is kind of like preparing them, telling them a story maybe about what it's done for you. And then the next day we'll have more of a kind of a pitch, I suppose. Might have more of a sales thing in it, might have the link in it somewhere. But you want to keep people on your email list. So I can't stress enough that you want to keep providing them value, because you want to keep people being part of your audience. And if that sounds like something that's right now sounds like a really difficult thing for you to be doing, don't worry. Just do 2 emails a week, because that's not difficult. And then work your way up. Produce 1 piece of content a week, and then sort of work your way up. And in the meantime, be sending them to third-party things. Okay, are there any other questions? Doesn't look like it. So I look forward to the live work session. I'll just check the Q&A. No, I look forward to doing that next week. I think that'll be really fun. I'd love to actually have some people out and talking to me and interacting, doing it while the webinar is actually on. It's still going to be one of these, but I'll be able to bring you out, and we'll be able to talk, and you'll be actually able to do this. Have 2 tabs open. Have your Facebook open and the webinar open, and you'll be able to be doing this while we're doing the training webinar. So that will be really fun, and I think it'll be very beneficial. Again, that will be recorded. You can keep the recording as well. I'll shoot this recording over to you. I'm looking forward to next week then, and great to see quite a few of you on here tonight. Thank you very much for coming. And I'll definitely speak to you all very, very soon. For now, though, I'm going to go. It's 10 o'clock here now, so it's getting a bit late. Got to be up early for those 2 little girls in the morning. They're always up bright and early, full of beans. You know what it's like if you're a parent. You know what it's like, or if you've been one, and you might now even be a grandparent. So goodbye, everybody, and I'll speak to you very soon. Bye-bye.